Welcome to the second part of our First Session Essentials podcast. In this episode, if you're gearing up for your very first in-person RPG session and wondering what you should bring or feeling a bit nervous about showing up without something important, don't worry, we're going to talk about what really matters and what will help you walk into your first game room ready to jump right in. So this is about First Session Essentials, everything you need to bring or not need to bring and not worry about. All right, so today we've got an angle on how we're going to approach this podcast. I've researched and put together the most common items people do bring to the RPG table. A lot of them you'd probably be aware of or be thinking about already. And I'm just going to go through these items and we're going to discuss the merits of them. I think we should start by saying that you can just turn up by yourself and come into the room and play and get on with it. But if you want to do a little bit of research, a little bit of prep, and come in a little bit better prepared. Let's go through the other common items people bring. Okay, so obviously you playing a role-playing game, you know there are dice involved.
Almost all the time. Almost.
But generally speaking, especially if it's Dungeons and Dragons, dice are one of the joys of role-playing, aren't they? I think they were for me when I started playing. They still are for me as an adult. Is that sort of fascination with dice, and there's an industry now. Yeah. Would you deny somebody sort of saying before their first session, I want to come along with my own dice set? It makes sense they do, doesn't it?
No, it's better that just make sure that, especially if it's a new group starting up, if they all turn up and say, I thought you bought the dice. I thought you bought even if you've got one set of dice between you all, that'll work fine. But just make sure someone's got some fucking dice.
It's not going to be long until you get some, is it, right?
No. So, I mean, this was one of the things that surprised me about myself. Oh, I like dice.
Dice gobbling.
The first session I came, I didn't bring dice. And you put a full set of 7 polyhedral dice in my hand. And immediately I thought, I like these. Like straight away. And next week I had my own set. And I'm not a dice goblin. It's not like I buy tons and tons of dice. And I don't look after them. I've probably got 5 sets of dice. 3 of them are incomplete because I've lost one. But as objects, I think they're really good fun. I like the sound they make when you rattle them in your hand. I like the sound they make when they hit the table.
I agree.
I mean, I should probably pitch this to you, but I've got a business idea. Online gambling is huge.
Yeah.
There isn't, as far as I can make out, a single casino game based on polyhedral dice.
There isn't.
No, so I think we could be rich.
But you need to get precision dice, won't you? D6, you get those
but
precision
if you're doing
D6.
it online, you don't actually need the physical dice.
You're here at the birth of the evil empire. Note the day.
I mean, obviously gambling websites are the scum of the earth, but if it meant I could retire, fuck them.
Are we sponsored by one?
We could be now.
We'll have to edit that out.
So Stephen, dice, what do you feel? As you're coming along to your first session, it's easy, innit? Where'd you get your dice from?
Yes, Welly Models.
Yeah.
That was about 40 years ago.
We could be sponsored by him.
He's not in business anymore.
But yes, definitely dice. If you don't bring it for the first session, you definitely will be bringing it to the second.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Do you come along with dice and people know that's
And there are some very, very, very pretty, shiny, clacky math rocks out there now.
Some really expensive math rocks.
It's not the old solid ones you had to colour in with the crayon like we started with, pesky and whippersnappers.
Do you know what? And I think that's worth pointing out as well. Stephen's just said there are some very expensive ones.
Ridiculous.
I mean, they're expensive because they're beautiful and crafted. Expensive dice are no more effective than inexpensive dice. I think the most expensive set of dice I bought was my metal ones, and I think they were about 20 quid. Generally speaking, I'd be looking at spending £5 to £10 on a set of dice. That's it. Yeah. When you look at them, it seems like a lot of money, £5 to £10. But, like you say, some of them are gorgeous. I know people who buy a dice set for each character they're playing, which I think is quite... I think that's quite good fun. So, I played with someone who was playing a wood elf, and they bought this really nice kind of foresty green set of dice specifically for that character. I don't know if you noticed
my dice in Icewind Dale.
I have noticed your dice in Icewind Dale.
And this is why the dice industry are doing so well.
Not coveted other men's dice.
My dice are like icicles, and they've got this icy feel about them. They roll shit.
I'm going to come out and say it. I actually don't like them. They're too pointy.
Yeah. Some of these modern dice are very sharp. Yeah.
Sharp dice, yeah.
Like caltrops.
So
Don't stand on 'em.
the problem I have with pointy dice is that if you're not rolling them in a dice, if you're rolling them on a table, they will chip.
Chip the table.
No, they will chip.
You need a dice tray. Dare I go on to the next subject?
Oh, well, we segue into dice trays.
Yeah,
Now,
dice trays.
Can, we
Yeah, go
can I
for it.
segue that?
Yes,
Now,
go do that.
I like a dice tray, but the problem with a dice tray is that they deaden the sound of the dice rolling, and I also really like the sound of the dice rolling.
Yeah, what's your feeling on dice trays then, Stephen? You feel the same? I don't like
I used them briefly, but mine broke, and I didn't replace it, to be fair. I think as a DM, I like to roll in the open, and I think dice trays kind of sometimes hide them a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Depends
what
on
they're
the
for. I
dice
don't
tray.
know.
I've got like one.
Yeah, it depends how big it is, but some people have little ones and think,
The other thing is if you're playing online, dice can be problematic if you're expecting anyone else to listen, because having stuff clacking off in your ears like that, especially if you've got a handful of dice and you're
Shaking it in front of the mic. Yeah.
Yeah, you
That
don't tend
pisses
to.
me
Yeah,
off.
it's always virtual dice. But we're sticking to in-person session. Yeah, that's what we're focusing
I
on.
think the main difference between the expensive, really, really flash nice dice is you're going to pause the session for another 15 minutes when the sofa eats them, rather than the buckets of dice under your mum's sofa that we just, no, we're not going there. We might not get out ourselves.
Other paraphernalia involving dice. Dice bags are my favourite. So we're going to detail it, but we're going to name our favourite piece of role-playing paraphernalia at the end of the podcast. But yeah, I love a dice bag. So moving on to tablets, laptops. Do people? I mean, I'm seeing around the table more and more people sitting there with a tablet or even a laptop screen open, and that's how they're handling their character sheet. Even in an in-person session, they're using digital toolkits to run their characters' sheets rather than pen and paper.
So D&D Beyond is the main reason for that. Cause I've got to say, I mean, we're not sponsored, but might be up for that. But it makes it so easy. You just touch, point, click. I don't like it on the mobile, to be honest. So the laptop
it's a great
needful,
fallback.
but
If you've forgotten your character sheet or you don't have your laptop, you can still use your mobile to look at your character.
Yeah.
I love it. We as a society, we invest collectively into a D&D Beyond account, which means we buy all of the add-ons, all of the scenarios and rules, so everybody can use that. It's expensive, right? We've spent £500 or £600.
Is that an ongoing cost, or is that
Well,
you
yeah,
buy it
but it's ongoing, as in they release new things and you continue to add to it.
Okay, so I think if you're a community, that makes sense. I think for an individual, that's a bit of an ask.
Yeah. So,
Do you know what I mean?
but you use a different type of app, don't you? Don't use that.
So I use my right. So I'm dyslexic, and I have dysgraphia. And there's a lot of stuff going on up there that holds me back, or doesn't hold me back. That makes life a bit more challenging sometimes. I hate picking up pen and paper. Pen and paper and pencil and paper is just like death to me. The advent of the online form was one of the most liberating experiences of my entire life. So I have a third party, not licensed. If we are going to get sponsored by D&D Beyond, maybe I should shut the fuck up. It's literally called 5th Edition Character Sheet. It's an app on the iStore, and I think it cost me £3.99.
I was going to say, I'm going to predict in a few years' time that, nobody will be bringing a pencil and paper to a D&D game, which is a bit of a shame because I do like the paper and pencils. But I find with people who use D&D Beyond, they're the people that really don't have a clue about the rules. I think in the end, players just become people that just push buttons on a screen. Things happen for them.
Yeah.
And if that's fine, if that's the way you want to play the game. But I think, owning the physical copies and looking into yourself gives you a more broad depth of it. But D&D Beyond is superb, don't get me wrong. But I find players are just sort of like going up a level, just pushing the button.
It's helped
again.
me.
Okay, great.
That's what I was doing. And eventually I thought, I don't even know
why.
I don't know what my character can do. I'm asking people and put it on paper, and I've then kind of separated everything that it can do.
It doesn't necessarily have to be paper and pencil. You can do something like Barry's got, maybe a PDF or form fillable, but something you've actually made the effort to go from one stage to another. You understood the process.
Yeah.
It's not essential. It isn't, because you could just press the buttons and just be happy. But if everyone's doing that, the DM's just pushing his buttons on his screen, players are just pushing their buttons, it becomes automated. But I think that's what they're after, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but for advanced players, people that know the system well, that works better, I think. But for new players, perhaps not so well.
It's true. Yeah, because it does stop. It is a barrier for you to learn the rules. Again,
but it is a good quick start thing. If you've got a noob.
Yeah. And then, of course, I suppose you have to point out that something like D&D Beyond presumably isn't available for every system.
No.
So if
there's-
this choice might literally not be in your hands if the first game you play is going to be an indie. And
Absolutely.
You do get, like Stephen said, you do get other means to, like a Google Sheet or something.
Google
somebody,
Docs, yeah, there's lots of.
I mean, I
people
think
do
that
Google
was
Docs, yeah.
I think that was what you did when we played Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay online, and that worked. I think that was when it started. That worked really well for me.
Yeah,
That
I think people prefer that, even though it's a bespoke, handmade Google Doc. People nowadays prefer to have that and use that than have it on paper in front of them.
When I play online, I've got the one on screen, but I also copy or print one out that's got that.
Yeah.
The internet can go down.
Financial point of view, a pencil and a piece of paper is pretty cheap.
Yeah, you got to rely upon somebody else printing that out for you. I suppose nowadays you could come along and play your first session, and who's got a character sheet? I found that somebody comes up to me, "You've got a D&D character sheet." Yeah, I think I've got some left. You're
the only person I know in the world who has always got a D&D character sheet on them. I reckon
as well.
I reckon I could ask you on a Friday night in a pub, and you go, "Yeah, hold on a second, back pocket. There you go."
So maybe
What colours you want?
our advice might be, if you're not going to come along with a laptop and you want to do it on paper, you could always print out your own character sheet before you arrive. At least you're guaranteed to have.
Yeah, no, and
have something
again,
there.
talk to whoever's organising your table, because people, not everyone has a print mark. Those that they're becoming more and more redundant as time goes on. Just say to your DM, "Can you have some character sheets, please?"
Yeah.
A good DM should have a couple of character sheets tucked away somewhere, right?
When I thought I was doing Shadowrun the other night, I went down the library to use their photocopier.
That's even
libraries.
Photocopy as well.
I used to love photocopiers.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah. How many times do we?
A lot.
Great fun.
Whole rule books, photocopies.
Well, yeah, that's why they put all that really dark artwork in. That's the only reason they put.
And chargers, of course, most places. If you go to community centres, if you got your laptop, won't be a bad idea to bring a charger along. So other things that people might bring along, this one will be fairly quick. It's stationery and pencils. If you're going to use, you can't rely upon other people having those things. So bring along, a rubber and or an eraser or whatever.
No, what I know I say this a lot, but I've just been so lucky with the people that I've played with, because I can turn up with fuck all. And I know that I can turn to, have you got a pencil? Yes. Right. Have you got some dice? Yes. And I'm set up to go. And don't bank on that. But it is quite likely that you'll be, right? We got a player at our table who I think she brings 10 pencils every week. She's just a player. Yeah. But she's just, part of like her contribution to the community is if someone doesn't have one of these, I'll make sure they've got it. And, I love that about it. I love that about it. It's like we got another player who is most people are dice goblins. He's a dice tray goblin. And if you haven't got a dice tray, he'll just go, "Do you want one?" Yeah. Right. And he'll open a little box. He'll have like 9 dice trays.
I might have a word with him.
It's one of the things I find interesting about the types of characters that you get playing this game, because people have different hyper focuses. And if you've got a well-balanced table, and I'm not talking about well-balanced characters, I'm talking about well-balanced players, you will have every resource at that table between you. Because everyone has taken it upon themselves to say, well, I will be in charge of books. I will be in charge of dice. Yeah. I will be in charge of pencils. And we should be running the world, damn it.
That's on there.
Snacks is on the list. Don't
Snacks.
worry. We get there. Probably the most important to last, actually, with the snacks. So the next, we're going to move on to our miniatures. It's unlikely you're going to know enough about what you're doing and what character you're going to have to come into the session with a miniature. But, hey, most people have one eventually, don't they? But you wouldn't worry about it too much in your first session, Steve?
Well, unless you've redone your character and you know exactly who he is. No, not first session. But again, you probably have one. Maybe not in the second session, but maybe the third or fourth, you'll probably have one. Even though I know some players that just use the sort of standard ones we have on hand. Yeah, I mean, there's many places you can get them from these days.
Yeah, you can print them, of course. That's now the main industry these days, isn't it?
Yeah, if you've got a 3D printer, well, go for it. If you can use it and get the patterns. So I think we was talking about Hero Forge. Was that on? Yeah.
And that does coloured ones as well, doesn't it?
I think that you can get a basic paint range on it. Yeah.
Not sponsored, but up for it.
But I think we need to focus on what this podcast is about, is what you might feel obliged to turn up with on your first session.
Well, I think we should, I think, again, considering who this is aimed at, and I always struggle to remember what we've spoke about in the past, but I think we should, a miniature is a physical representation of your character. There are some amazingly talented and skilled people out there who paint them. There are some other people who play with them blank. But when you're in combat situations, that's like your chess piece. That's you're moving that around the board. It is a physical representation of where you are.
The main use for them in game is if there's any questions about range. So if your ref's done a square or hexagonal layout and drawn a map over it,
a battle map, as they
yeah,
be called. Yeah,
then you can tell how far, providing you've got it to scale, of course, not an aerial view of the continent. But you can tell how far they are for things like missile ranges, melee, spells. That's the main reason for them.
I have a really weird relationship with miniatures. I absolutely love them. All right. Again, really lucky. We got a guy at our club who his painting is absolutely phenomenal. And as soon as I get a new character, I buy a miniature. He does a fucking amazing job. But then when I'm finished playing that character, it goes into the club's community pile of, do you know what I mean? I love it for that period, but I don't keep them and display them and have them at home. Once that character's either dead or the campaign has come to an end, I'll just put it into our collective pool of miniatures so that other people can use it if they happen to be playing and they don't want to get their own and get it painted.
And we've got that resource, haven't we, in our community? We must have 300 or 400 figures across maybe
I assume it's all
5
about
boxes.
D&D then with these figures. There's many games that are not so vital to have a miniature.
Yeah,
as well.
check what game you're playing. I suppose that's over to John. So miniatures, figures within your independent games, the ones that
I
you talk
don't
about.
usually bother, that partly because I've got no artistic capabilities whatsoever, so can't paint, won't paint. But even maps, personally, I struggle with. I like playing well enough if ref does one. It doesn't matter how rough it is. But yeah, you can use, a token, a coin, a dice, but figures are nice.
Yeah. If you bring one, you'll be the exception to the rule on your first session to enter the room with a miniature representing the character that you want to play.
I mean, I like them well enough. They're very pretty, and it can maybe help you visualize on your character. It's a nice focus.
Check out RPG Blokes Plus. It's our premium service where we give you the opportunity to help pay our bills. And we guarantee you an episode every week, exclusive live plays and interviews. And that's got to be worth £3 of anyone's money.
RPG Blokes Plus. Regular episodes for a regular you.
Okay, so again, something non-essential, something you may want to integrate or pick up later as you play more sessions.
You will. Minis aren't expensive.
So it's 2 more things left to discuss. This one is now reference cards for feats, abilities and spells. I'm seeing these more often on the table. These are physical things that people quite enjoy turning up with. And if you knew what character you were going to play, it might give you a bit of confidence perhaps to either purchase these or create your own on card. I don't know how useful. It's a good idea, I think, really, for a new player, potentially. It's if you want to do a bit of homework and come along and have a better idea, especially if you're playing a more complex character.
Yeah, I think, again, you're saying about the cost of the hobby. Depends how much you want to spend on it, but it certainly isn't a requirement to get these cards. They're pretty much quick reference rule cards, aren't they? So it's so you don't have to fiddle through the book or look on your tablet. You've got them right in front of you. So they are useful, certainly not essential. I think, yeah, a lot of people have used them in Dungeons & Dragons when I've played it.
Do you see the appeal with them over, say, Barry said, it just reaches for Google, which most of us do. I do as well.
Yeah,
I don't have cards,
I guess this is more of a luxury purchase. It's just if you've got money to spend and you want to spend it on something Dungeons & Dragons related or whatever game, and then these are an option. They are certainly not the only way you can access your spells. In fact, if you have a player's handbook, that is equally as valid.
Yeah, search through the player's handbook is the old-fashioned way.
Exactly.
But not everything's in the player's handbook, though, is it? Because, Wizards of the Coast, the expansions and stuff like that. I like the prompt cards. I don't use them, but I've seen some other people. Some of them are beautiful, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you like the genre, you like the artwork, they're a perfectly reasonable treat for yourself. Go ahead and do it.
It's a luxury item.
Yeah, you can't take it with you. Spend the money if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Well, they had a 3rd edition Warhammer it was a bit of a... But they did have cards.
Yeah,
for
all of that was
everything.
physical cards. Everything was placed on a physical card.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was
I've got to
nice,
say, once you get used to it, because
logistically getting it around, it was tough.
Well, yeah.
That was up to the GM to buy all of that, wasn't it? Individual
Yeah.
players really had no route in as a new player. You were dependent upon the DM having those reference
There might
cards.
have
And
been
all
character packs somewhere you could get for your character, but it was very few and far between. A lot of it was just basically don't print the rule book, just put everything on small cards, which is awesome, but until you had to find it.
Yeah.
And then it's more tricky. But yeah.
Whereas I found index cards, and people can just keep them with their character sheet and flick through. You fill it out like it is in the book. It doesn't have to be the ones you can buy are really pretty and everything else. That's great. But if you want cheap and cheerful,
Great idea. So just come along with some blank ones of those, and then during the session you can make
people
those
fill out
notes.
what they want, because you buy the pre-made ones, and a lot of time it's a pack. It might have everything, but you might also never need more than half a dozen, and it tends to work. It
That's a
saves
good
it
game,
saves wear and tear on the books as well.
Yes, which are growing in value all of the time.
Yeah, because the stuff I'm looking at, because I tend to play older editions, they've gone from a start-up cost of 10, 20 quid, some are in the 50s, and
Really, yeah.
that's a bit for me. But I'll probably end up doing it.
Well, I donated one of my copies of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 2nd edition to your gaming table.
Yeah.
And that's worth over £100 in the condition it used to be
Not
before
now.
you got Sorry.
It was a bit fox when we first got hold of it, but
I don't mind, right? Because we bought them to play the game
Listen,
with. And, I like that.
That's where its real value is, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No regrets. Not well, as long as you can cover it, I'm good.
Stick it on eBay, you'll be fine.
Okay, so we get to the last point, the most common item you might want to bring to the table: food and drink. John, do you want to start us off on food and drink?
the fattest shall lead. I always try to bring along a couple of savouries, a couple of sweets, a bottle or two of different types of fizz. You got dietary considerations. Some people are on diets all the time, so you've got to have the sugar-free instead of the full fat. You've got some people allergies, be aware, and some people just don't like the smell of certain things. So if you know your group, don't piss anyone off.
You're a very considerate table if everybody's considering those things, hey?
Absolutely, yeah. What's going on?
I mean, you've got to remember my missus had severe allergies, so you tend to factor that in.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you won't have any problems, and you'll find out if someone says they really don't like the smell of, I don't know, some particular type of snack. Don't bring the fucking snacks.
In general, munches are a big part in
yeah.
a game. You're going to want something at the table to.
Your basic food groups are your chocolate, your savoury crunchies.
None of it's healthy.
Your 5 a day.
Oh, fuck no.
Oh, you meant to feed your GM? Is that a thing?
Bribing the DM is definitely something I absolutely encourage and endorse. And
Barry, your experience with food and drink, you're all right. You bring along a bit, don't you?
So I'm that guy as well. Quite often, because I work shifts, this has come up before, quite often I'm coming straight from work. So I'm like, actually, I need dinner. I don't need snacks. This, like a packet of crisps and a can of Coke, I'm still going to hurt someone. So, I'll grab a meal deal on the way there. Some tables have superheroes at them who will cater for the whole table. Every now and then someone will bring a treat along for everyone. I get what John's saying about, look, be considerate to others. I wouldn't rock up with a lamb madras. Do you know what I mean?
Some people do, don't they? Order to the table.
I've seen people ordering from Uber Eats.
That's a little bit antisocial as far as the smell and the feel about it.
Hot food stinks, man. If
It
you're
does,
not eating it, I get that.
But if we're playing over at someone's house,
wow, it's off the scale.
the aspects are a different thing, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. If you're a guest in someone's home, you shouldn't be coming empty-handed.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No,
agreed.
that's true. So, do you integrate food into your enjoyment of the hobby, or is that something that you'd say that's important to you?
It's been traditionally so. Buying a cup of Cherryade back in the day, I remember. And then spilling it all over your paper carrot sheets. Never gets old. But
I mean, it's still better than spilling it all over your laptop.
Well, yeah,
it really is. At the time, it was pretty grim.
it's a tradition, damn it.
Luckily enough, nobody had them at the time. But
Sample,
I've been lucky. We've had people at our table that bake before they come along and bring cakes and stuff, which is awesome. But I think the other sort of antisocial thing you could bring, like in drinks wise, is being the only one drinking alcohol potentially and getting absolutely wasted. I can imagine that being quite
Yeah,
quite a tricky one.
I've
But
had that happen.
No,
once or
I'm
twice,
playing
and
a
it's
drunken
not-
monk. There's nothing you can do about it.
I guess there is that. But I'm thinking if you're the only one, if you bring it for everyone, it would be interesting.
Okay, that's more of the etiquette of food, really.
Yeah, I guess alcohol is that sort of like taboo kind of subject when it comes to role playing, is it? Should you or shouldn't you? But
Well, in our experience over all of the years, very little alcohol
probably
is drank.
shouldn't. I think we've kind of agreed. It changes the games.
An old acquaintance of mine, he did a podcast that was called Drunkards and Taverns. And the idea was their USP was that one player was shit-faced. And the player that was shit-faced got an extra D4 on every D20. So the story was more likely to go in the direction.
So he was permanently blessed, isn't it?
One, and it was
Well,
a
you thought
different,
so.
and it was a different character each week. It was a different player stroke character each week. So the rest of them had to remain sober, and that player had to get drunk before they started playing. Now, I'm not suggesting we should be encouraging stuff like that, but it was really good fun.
It could be fun if
It
somebody
was really
up
good
for
fun.
it.
Yeah,
Would you
yeah,
be
yeah.
up for it at our table?
Hang
I
on.
mean, I've said in the past, and I mean this as well. It's like I need more wholesome things in my life, and one of the things that this hobby does do for me is give me wholesome times where my socialising isn't, revolving around pub.
I was just thinking, one of those players wasn't the DM one week getting drunk, because that might be interesting.
Do you know?
That's
I
all.
can't remember. I don't think so.
'Cause that
but
would
I can't
just be a
remember.
different dynamic
I
in terms
can't
of-
remember. So I know that there are some games that are held in pubs, and in those games, if I'm in a pub, then I'm having a fucking pint, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop me.
So soft drinks and crisps and junk food really is what you should be bringing along to a gaming table.
Healthy snacks are available.
To bring food and drink, good idea.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah.
You
Well,
might-
players would appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. As a player, I eat a lot more as a player than I do as a DM. I just want to put that out there. As a DM, I generally don't eat anything at all because you're talking more, I guess. And but as a player, you're sort of watching them a bit more, so you end up just tucking into whatever's there.
Yeah.
So it's a big
That's-
difference. Yeah, you probably be a lot. DMs are slimmer.
Lies.
It's true.
How's this worked?
Yeah, my calorie intake when I'm DMing a game
Absolutely,
is far, far
huge
less. Yeah.
difference. Barry, that's why you need to.
Another good reason for me not to DM.
It's a diet, mate. It's a DM diet. It's called.
Apparently, I'm not slim enough. It's fine. It's fine.
So back in the late 80s, I was reffing and I was with a coven, and we had a game night, and it was kind of codified that one person bought wine, one person bought chocolate, one person bought.
The Virgin.
There were no virgins.
So hard to find these days.
And one person bought the weed. Different sort of game. Often we didn't necessarily remember the last sort of hour of it. We weren't smashed. It was sociable passing round. That was about the only time that I've mixed and matched all of those things in a game session. It was a brilliant game. It was a long-running campaign. We did that for some years. Really good. But again, not at a social venue. This was at someone's home, and it was very different setup. So,
Yeah. Find one of those games if you can, I suppose, would be
Absolutely.
advice.
Where was our invite?
Put some links at the end of the podcast. If you,
what you said?
we're going to get more questions about that shit than anything else
Yeah.
we've spoken about.
No, in the 80s, we was told we was demon worshippers. You're doing nothing to
And all
make
the
that.
while, he was actually a demon
The
worshiper.
coven, Father Marcus.
Fucking hell.
No.
If I'd have known.
Okay, so thanks, guys. We're at the end now. We've gone
Yep.
through the most common items that people might feel they're obliged to bring to an RPG table. I want to finish off today by just giving each of us the opportunity to tell us about their favourite item in all of their role-playing years, which item that they treasure the most, the one that they maybe want at the table right now, or they in the past that they've treasured and maybe lost. I'll start by myself because I already said it, really. It's dice bags for me. I love it. John here knitted a chainmail dice bag for my 30th birthday. And it's great. I love it. And I've got a few other dice bags since that I treasure just as much. I even very recently, a friend of ours playing at the table had this wonderful dice bag. I asked him about it, and his partner made it for him. And he passed on my compliments of the dice bag to his partner. And next week she turned up and gave me a version of the same thing. It's just such a wonderful dice bag. So, yeah.
I spoke to her this week. She's making me one as well.
I felt special for a
Can we
moment.
all speak to her?
That I'm afraid is privileged information.
I got to follow you. Jump out.
There's some good ones out there. There's like Beholder dice bag, Mimic is quite popular.
Oh, don't tell me I'm going to end up having to buy them.
With the teeth, you zip it open, that's the mouth. There's some...
They're my favourites anyway. And one of my favourite things of all time is that chainmail dice bag. Barry, what would be your favourite item?
This is an absolute doddle for me. My favourite item is my custom made by the club wooden dice box.
Fantastic.
So our club, it's one of the things that reinforces how much of a community it is for me. At 50 sessions, you get a t-shirt. And when you've done 100 sessions, you get a wooden dice box. And that was when I went out and bought my metal dice, because I was like, this box needs special dice. And it is by far and away my favourite item at the table. I had it engraved with Dirty 20 written on the bottom, because that's my favourite saying at the table.
Yeah, that's a new saying for me as well. Do you want to...
Okay, so when you're making ability checks and attack rolls, etc., in D&D, you're virtually always using a 20-sided dice, but you have your character's attributes lets you add or minus numbers to that, depending on whether you're skilled or unskilled. Obviously, the highest that you can roll on the dice is 20, but with your modifiers, let's say you had a +2, you could roll an 18. That would then be what's known as a dirty 20, as opposed to a natural 20. And,
far better.
Dirty's better than natural. That's just
you think?
I love the way you lowered your...
Dirty.
Filthy 20.
Oh, I like filthy 20. I might start adopting that.
That's even dirtier, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, won't go down those routes. We'll end up in covens.
Different podcast.
Stephen, what's your most treasured item?
Yes, well, I used to own this D20. I think I still do somewhere. And it wasn't quite rolled. It didn't roll naturally, but it didn't roll high. It rolled really low. Some of the games I was playing at the time, it was incredibly useful. Some games you needed to roll ones, and anything under 10 is great. And this thing was pretty consistent in rolling under 10, even though it did occasionally roll above just to keep its kind of cover. But it wasn't loaded. It was just an awesome dice that just wasn't quite rolling as it should.
I have questions. Right, I have questions, right? Because this may be touching on onto a seriously pet peeve of mine, right? So, are you saying that this dice was quote unlucky, or are you saying that it was manufactured poorly?
I think it was manufactured poorly because it was.
Right, okay.
I didn't do a scientific.
Okay, so we can still be friends. That's fine.
I appreciate it. It wasn't anything to do with, like, I'm pretty sure it was manufactured badly, but it was running low. When normally in D&D that would be a bad thing, but some systems it's a great thing, and I remember I abused it in that one. It was brilliant.
But is that legal? That it's rolling without a true random
More
result.
for them for using the virtual dice. That's what I'm saying. Go out there, get yourself some dice, find out which ones are great. Then,
but it's your most treasured.
Well,
item.
it used to be absolutely. It was brilliant. I couldn't do anything without a dice. It was awesome. But yeah, absolutely.
For what it's worth, a test for those things is hot salty water in a cup, and you roll the dice in that, and it should just float if it's plastic, not metal, obviously, and it should.
Sounds like witchcraft.
Call it what you will. I call it science.
Yeah,
but
and you would be right.
To the primitive and uninitiated, the Tory.
Do I have to burn it at the stake if it doesn't?
Well, you can get dice jails.
Oh, people and dice, please.
We'll come back to dice paraphernalia. We'll leave that one unexplained. John, what's your most treasured item?
Books.
Yeah, that's a good
actual
shout.
physical. But I mean, I've got my dice pouch, which is plain black leather, and I've always wanted just that. Certain dice, yeah, sure, but being surrounded by a mountain of books, not just game books, just mountains of books.
Yeah, okay.
That's my happy place. That's the way to be.
And they're well used books as well.
Fuck
aren't they?
yes, they're no good for resale. Not that you'd have to pry them from me, but yeah. Well, once you get the system you really are invested in, or if it's fiction, just the series that you absolutely love. Yeah, a Kindle or whatever, it just doesn't cut the mustard. Holding the books, smelling the books, being surrounded by books, and in case I haven't said it, books.
Do you have to explain what books are for the listeners? I think we're okay now.
Let them find out.
No, we're not quite there yet, but that's how we began, with books, and so we end with books. And buying your first rule book, your first player's handbook is a fantastic experience. Hopefully you get to that point. Excellent. Right. So that is the end of our podcast. And hopefully you will be able to turn up to your first session knowing that you don't need really any of these things, but lovely to bring one or two along with you as you come.
If everyone brings something off that list. Oh, yes.
Works out. So we're at the end, Stephen. You know your job.
Yes. So let's
Slice and dice.
RPG Blokes, we slice and dice. We'll save you from the 9 to 5. RPG Blokes, with sound advice, bringing your wildest dreams to life. From stories to life. From stories to life.